Hey guys, it's Rachel again. Hang on, let me just move that. And it's Thankful Thursday, and I'm here with Kel this week. We're on week 4 rota, which means we're nearly another month gone. And it is again Tara who has done the rota for this week. And this week she wanted us to look at this. She's basically said, who are the women who have most influenced you in your life? Describe the characteristics they have, not related to appearance. What makes them special, and how can we use this to understand that our value is not based on body size and shape? Okay, so the people I respect are certainly people. It doesn't have anything to do with what size they are. It doesn't have anything to do with how they look. It doesn't have anything to do with any of those things. It is to do with who they are. It's to do with what they represent. It's to do with the strengths they have. It has to do with the fact they are women and that they are proud to be women. Okay, and when I was growing up, I guess there were a number of people who I respected and admired. Those people that I respected and admired were people who had achieved things, and I don't just mean it isn't to do with success or academics or sport, but it kind of was wrapped into that. You know, I was a gymnast. I respected people who worked hard. You know, I respected people who were diligent. I respected people who were motivated. I respected people who wanted to be something and go somewhere and do something. And I guess my early experiences were therefore connected to my mum, my aunt, both who I see as incredibly strong women, and to this day who I respect. So that's within the family, really. And you know, I respect my brother, I respect my cousin Gemma, I respect a great number of people who've been in my life because they work hard. You know, they get their heads down and they're making something of themselves. And when I talk about making something of yourself, I don't want it to, it's not connected to money or riches or possessions or material things, but it's connected to having a bit of fire in your belly. Okay, so that was kind of that, really. And then it kind of went on to a couple of my teachers who I really respected. And having had the experiences I've now had, I'm far more aware. I have a lot more insight into what I respect. And when I was recovering, the person I respected was my therapist, Angela. She was a clinical psychologist. She presented herself well, she articulated herself well, she worked incredibly hard because, you know, obviously she had her clinical. She was married, she was happy, she had a family, okay? So she did have everything. And I actually also really admired Jaya. Jaya is my therapist, psychiatrist. And I remember her saying to me quite early on when I first started to see her, because I was still in that kind of space where I was like, I don't deserve good things, I don't deserve recovery, I don't deserve to be well. And I used to kind of self-sabotage myself. And she said, why can't you have it all, Rachel? Why can't you be beautiful and intelligent and successful and have good shoes, you know, and have a family and be in love? And I was like, because I don't deserve all that stuff. And she was like, yeah, you do. I want that stuff, I have that stuff, you deserve that stuff. And I kind of had this idea in my head at that point that I couldn't be more than I was. And I've always had a number of comments on how I look, and I kind of thought, well, you know, if I'm attractive, then I can't have anything more than that. And that's bullshit, and I've realised that. And I now work hard, and I want to be successful. I want to be a practicing psychotherapist. They're my dreams, they're my hopes, okay? And what makes these people special that I'm talking about is that it's nothing to do with what size they are. Nothing, absolutely nothing. And although there is a huge focus in this society on how we look, whether we're thin enough, whether we're attractive enough, whether we have this colour hair, this colour eyes, whether we're a certain height, shape. You know, yeah, there is an over focus on that, but the people, when it really comes down to it, who you respect are not those people. And in my recovery, the person who I looked up to most was a girl called Joy, a woman called Joy, and she was amazing. She was. And she showed me that I could recover. And what was so important about that was that she was somebody who had been ill and had recovered. And second to that came Ariel. Ariel was somebody who, when I had my relapse, was, you know, a shining beacon of this is what you can still have, this is what you can achieve, this is a blip, you know, you're going to get through this. And so that kind of led me on to, you know, the other girls in my life. And I'm talking about my best friend, I'm talking about Tracy, I'm talking about Amanda, I'm talking about all the girls on this channel who, for me, are just, I don't care what size they are, I don't care what they look like, but they are beautiful people. They have the kindest hearts, they have the biggest hearts in people I've ever met. They have motivation, they have energy, they have desire. They're not ashamed of being a woman. They embrace their bodies, they embrace who they are. Okay, so the value is on who we are as people, not on what size we are, not what amount of space we take up. And I think that what happens in an eating disorder is that we start to admire people who are thin. You know, it's in this culture as well. It's like, oh, let's, you know, we all admire Posh Spice. Okay, you know, she's been successful, and I'm actually really inspired by her because of the fact that she's come from next to nothing and has made something of herself. She's an amazing, you know, fashion designer now. But on the flip side of that, there's a lot of people who admire her just because she's so thin. And, you know, this whole inspiration thing, pro-anorexia, people with eating disorders admiring her, looking up to her because of her size. But what I find important about her is what she's achieved. So there's people like that, people like Cheryl Cole, who comes from a state, you know, a council estate in Newcastle. She's made something of herself. She has. And when it really comes down to it, and we're talking about the people that inspire us and influence us, that goes way beyond what size they are. It doesn't even really touch on that, does it? Let's face it. And I'm in a position now where I have an amazing group of women on this channel who keep me going, who show me that recovery is there, and also, God, who inspire me every single day to make myself a better person. Not that I'm saying I need to be a better person, but they make me want to be something. They make me want to be well. They make me want to achieve my dream. They stop me from wanting to destroy myself. I don't want that anymore. And so they're the people who I value, and the people who are special to me, and the people I admire. And that's what you guys need to find. Okay, guys, I'll see you week after next. Okay, bye.